Hey, this is Dan Abbott. I'm making videos to show my print reading class at SMCC what the objects that you're sketching for the orthographic projection unit look like. So you're looking at the screen right now, and there is a sheet that has 12 of these objects. You need to sketch each of them orthographically. No dimensions, just do the basic shapes and make sure you have views in the right locations, things line up, that you put all your hidden lines in, all your center lines in. So all I'm going to do here is go to each of these one at a time and then show you what it looks like, and then when I do that I'm going to rotate it so you can get an idea of what it looks like all the way around. So the part you're looking at on the right is number 1 on worksheet 5G. So if I rotate it around, this is what it looks like that direction. This is what it looks like in this direction. Holes go all the way through, and anytime you have a hole dimension on a technical drawing with no depth given, you can assume that the hole goes all the way through. This is the second object. This is what the drawing of it looks like. That's an isometric drawing, by the way, and these drawings I select from Gasecki. They're all drawn by hand. I like the way they look, and they give me an example of things that, or a group of examples of things that you need to produce. So once again, we'll come over here, we'll rotate it around like this. And like this. Object number 3, right view shows you what the sketch looks like, the left view shows you what it looks like in actual life. Rotate this one around. And then we'll do it this way. Looks like that. This is object number 5. There's no object number 4 because the sheet that I gave you cuts off one whole column of these little parts just to reduce it from 16 to 12. Once again, rotate it around so you can see what it looks like. And we'll do it this way. Clicking noise you hear are my arrow keys that I use to do the rotation in SolidWorks. Part number 6, drawing on the right. One thing to keep in mind here is you've got a tangency here where that straight surface goes, that flat surface, transitions onto the cylinder. You can see it over here like that. That tangency is right there. That's where the transition takes place between a flat surface and a curved surface. When you draw this, don't forget to project that feature down from the top view so that you can, or from the front view could be as well, but that you understand when you sketch this where that tangency is. And you'll notice there's no line going through here. Rotate it around. And rotate it this way. And I am, yes, purposely avoiding rotating it into the 3 primary positions because I want you to be able to visualize that. Part number 7, drawing on the right, object on the left. Here's a case where it might not be obvious how far down that goes, but you can assume, especially on these, that any place that looks like it has an opening that goes all the way through does. This is how it looks as a model. You can see that slot does go all the way down through. Then we'll rotate it this way. Part number 9. Again, there is no part number 8. That would be on the last column over. This part has 2 different features in the front and the rear. This is the kind of thing where it's possible you might just choose to draw both a front view and a rear view. In this particular case for this exercise, I just like a front, a right, and a top, even though I might in fact draw this with a rear view so that I can show that clearly. But I want you to show whatever view you select with hidden lines. That's what the part looks like as we rotate it. What it looks like that way. It's like I may have placed that slot a little, I guess I made that slot a little longer than it really would be. If I take a look at it over here, I'm going to pause and change that. I just made a change to the slot. I think it actually does look a little more like the drawing now. You don't have to make this exactly the way the drawing looks either, as long as you've got all your views properly projected. So now when I roll this around, you notice that it looks a little different in the bottom now. And then once more this way. Part number 9. Part number 10. Notice I'm trying to make my arrow keys a little less noisy. Part number 11. Yeah, there's no significance to that being orange. I just happened to have had my cursor on it when I started, so it highlighted it. So I'll take it off and rotate it again. Get back to the isometric view, then we'll rotate it this way. Part number 13. You'll notice the reason for that little break there, that's not actually a part of it. It's because the way this is sketched, isometrically it would look like that, and without breaking that out, it's not clear that there's a hole back here. So that was just done as a short break line. That's a convention in technical graphics. What isn't a convention, by the way, in technical graphics is to do this shading when you're doing orthographic views. This is not an orthographic view. It's an isometric view that's known as a pictorial. It's meant to be a picture of what we're looking at. So it's clarifying what the part looks like, but it's not a technical drawing of that part. You never put that kind of shading on a technical drawing. Those lines are section lines. Those would be on a technical drawing. But again, the purpose of this break here is just to show you that there's a hole back there. Now, if they'd done this a little different orientation, it could look like that. But back when we did drawings by hand, isometric drawings are always done with a 30-60 triangle. 30-60 triangle would allow you to draw angles at 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 90 degrees very easily. And so that is the orientation that most isometric drawings were done at back then. Rotate this one around. And it looks like that. Part 14. You notice the holes go all the way through. And now we'll go on to the last one. I feel like I should be playing music in the background like some of the videos that do how-tos, but I don't really like watching the videos that have music in the background, so I'm not doing it. And here's the last one, number 15. What you have right there, that little pocket, be a counterbore. Counterbore is simply an opening around a hole that is larger than the hole and provides a shelf where you can actually put a washer, for instance, in there. So when you bolt this down, the washer can sit uniformly around the part. This part probably, well, it's not drawn as a cast part, but anyway, this is what it looks like over here. We'll rotate this one around. Don't forget you got a tangency here as well, but there's no line shown when we draw this. Even though there is an edge here from a computer's point of view, that edge is invisible because the transition from that surface to that surface is a smooth transition. That's it. Go ahead and start sketching, or finish sketching if you've already started, and just go back and confirm that your view of what you're looking at is the same as the actual part. Again, the key thing here is to draw consistently with object lines that are thick, hidden lines that are thin, center lines that are thin, view placement being correct, and make sure you get all the details in all the views that are necessary.